Hello, welcome. Thanks for stopping by and spending some time with us today. Hope you enjoy the video. At the end, if you do, give us a like and subscribe. Today's video is going to be about Black Magic Atem products. Well, there's probably a couple other products involved in this video, not just Black Magic, but this is sort of a give some ideas of what can be done with the Atem, with some of the Atems from Black Magic, and I show you what we've done with different Atems. We actually own 3 Atems, and we have them set up for different purposes. One of the things I'll show you is a system where, in the process of building, it has some things in it right now that is functional, but it is being upgraded. So after this intro, we'll get right into it. The first thing we're going to do is give you a short tour of the studio we're using right now, which is based off of Atem Mini Extreme, and show you that setup, and then show you some things about that. We built it in the box. We use it as our um, our switcher for. It is the main thing we use to switch our cameras. It's our main switcher in the studio. We use it along with vMix software and some other software, not other software, but some other devices. We have a couple of different keypads here. We have the computer running vMix on it, which is recording this, and this is what is actually how we're putting the lower thirds across the bottom. That is an overlay that I can turn on and off from here. The channel bug is run from the Atem, but the overlay is run from vMix. This is X keys, so I don't have to reach that far over, and for other situations in the studio I could have this beside me, but with the monitor and stuff, it's too high. The laptop by itself is high enough, but this screen would get in the way. One of the things I wanted to show you is this is the Atem Mini Extreme. Let me move the camera in for a closer view. This is the Atem Mini Extreme, and we put it in a box. We have SDI converters in here, SDI to HDMI converters in this box. So we have 5 of those. So we have 5 SDI connectors in the back, and let me swing around real quick so you can see over there on that camera. Those are the SDI cables down at the bottom, and they come up around and go into the back of this setup, and they're attached into the back of the box. This has 3 HDMI inputs. It is also has I forget to hit record, so I'm going to hit record now. So, because we're actually running this video through the Atem, the vMix software is recording, the Atem software is now recording, This is how we switch our cameras. That's the view of me at the chair. I'm not over there. I'm standing up running the camera. And that's the camera I'm using now. I'm going to swing this camera around, and I'm going to pull the table out so you can get a good look at the back of the box. It has this is the monitor. This is a monitor. I can turn. This is the cable to the secondary monitor that's coming out of here. I can turn that monitor up there for the multi-view. Right now it is a confidence monitor. It's just showing the output right now. It's not showing the multi-view. You can see the SDI cables going in for the cameras. There are actually 5 SDI connectors. There is a switch in this box. We have Ethernet connectors, power connectors. We have the USB-C connector, audio in, the headphone jack is up top. This system is for use in our studio. I have it on the table, and it makes it convenient. I can actually, this whole system can actually go anywhere we need it to go. We can pack this up. This box is a stackable box, and I'm going to show you that shortly. If you look, okay. This is a stackable box that you can't really see it really well, but they have locking hooks on the box on both sides. It closes down, and it locks into our cases for carrying. It's not, it theoretically, not theoretically, it was waterproof, but then we put holes for ventilation and holes for the connections and that stuff in it, so it is no longer actually waterproof. But this is one of the things that you can do with the Atem Mini. I disconnected the camera. Let me stop moving this around. I messed with my connections. Oh, there we go. But this is one of the things that you can do. I'm going to cut that out. This is one of the things you can do with the Atem Mini Extreme. We put it in a box. It doesn't have to go into a box. And actually, part of this video, I'm going to show you how we use the Atem Mini Pro at our church. So the next thing I want to show you is another Atem Mini in a box, and that is right over here. That's the Atem Mini in the box. And put this camera in here. There it goes. Turn this around. And let me move this back for a minute so I can show you. That's our other mobile studio, our original mobile studio. And I will talk to you about that in a few minutes after I get this out. lock that up. And this is what I was talking about, the box is locking. And when we need to go somewhere, take the box out. It has 2 wheels, and then I have to rearrange my camera so I can show you better, get a better view. This is a setup we use for doing interviews. All right, it has the Atem Mini Pro inside. Let me unlock it so you can see it better. It has the Atem Mini Pro, and it's not built out like the other box because it wasn't necessary for the things we do with the other box. The other box had SDI, and it has a lot of things that we need for bigger productions. This box is mainly for when we do interviews. We're doing some programs where we interview people for different things, and this box is what we use for that. Normally we only use 2 cameras. We can use more. One of the cameras is in here. The drive that I use to record on is what I'm recording on right now. All the cables that are needed for this are in here. This box, since the interview thing is a little more intimate, we don't have to have long cables. We don't have to worry about getting more than 15 feet away. And with 15 feet on either side, we could actually still have the camera spaced 30 feet apart, but that's not really even necessary. So this is more than enough to use the Atem as it was originally designed, using only HDMI. Now, to show you why this box is not necessary, you can use whatever box you want to, and it also has a monitor in it like the other box. I get questions on our site, what monitor do you use? And if you look, this monitor is completely different from that monitor. So it really doesn't make a difference. It just has to be an HDMI monitor that, and actually that is not a mountable monitor. That's why the wooden straps are not straps, but I had to make something to mount it to that box. That is a portable, just flat monitor that you use with laptops, but it has HDMI and it could be connected to the Atem. So that's how that one was mounted. This was just a regular small HDMI monitor, and I even covered up the name of it because that's not important. As long as it's HDMI, this actually also has audio so that I can monitor the sound, and so that makes this one more convenient because the Atem Mini Pro doesn't have a headphone jack. This monitor does have a headphone jack, so I used a monitor that would be more practical for what I needed in this box. So this box serves me well. It doesn't have to be as fancy as the other box. The other box was for different purposes. That was for bigger events where we had to be able to have cameras further apart, and that system took the place of this system here. This system has the old Atem television studio in it, and this is what we used to take for big events like concerts and stuff with us. It was in a different box. We're specking that out, or not specking that out, but building that out for something else, and I'll get to that in a minute. But the reason why I use these stackable boxes, and these are actually toolboxes. It's the rigid line of toolboxes that you get from Home Depot. The reason I use them is because, well, that was the Atem. This box has all the camera gear for all of two sets of camera gear, with the cages, the field monitors, batteries, everything I need to set up my cameras. Let me see something. I'm going to switch to show you. This is the type of setup that we normally use for our cameras. I have a cage on it because a cage for holding stuff. This is the field monitor that we use. I don't have it turned around because I can see myself on the other monitor, so I can see what's going on, the confidence monitor. But this is actually, it's easier to set up shots than it is with a small screen for the camera. I have the receiver for the lavalier mic I'm on. I have the HDMI to SDI converter on here. So the cage makes it much easier to mount things. So that is what's all in here. I have two of my camcorders in here. The cages, the monitors, the cables, all the things necessary to set up that system. And then in the box below that, I have, yep, I have cables. I actually have the tripods actually fold up, and they're in the bottom. I don't know if you can see them, but they're in the bottom of this case. So everything I need. Oh, and then also the when I pack up the lavalier transmitter and receiver, that fits in here. So everything that I need for the shoot is in these three boxes. Now, depending on what I have to do, lets me know which boxes I have. And then there's actually a couple more boxes behind here that for more equipment if we need to do like for a bigger job. This box would not go. The Atem Mini Extreme box would actually go for a bigger job. Then we have another box back here with more cables, more SDI cables, and extension cords, batteries, and stuff like that for a bigger shoot. So we would take this box off, leave these cameras, take these cameras out, and put them in the bottom. The X keys will controllers, they will all fit in the bottom, and then the extra boxes. And then we have actually two extra boxes back there, audio for more audio equipment, and then this box. So we have basically end up with two rolling sets of boxes for bigger events, and it gives us these boxes give us the flexibility of being able to go and have everything packed up and ready to go. This system just gets stored back here, and that system is basically it makes it easy to get around and do remote jobs. Now the system beside it right here, this system is actually going to be our 4K system. Everything else is 1080. Right now it's just 1080. The television studio is actually mounted on this system, but it's in the back. You can see the multi-view display on here. It has the 6 cameras, media player 1 and 2, preview and program out. So it's showing you that it's there, but it's not. I don't have any cameras hooked up to it right now. This will eventually, when I get the 4K switcher, I will put that in there, and this will become our main studio production rack, and it's on wheels. It also can be, we want it to be mobile, so it will be our main studio production rack. But if we ever get any calls for stuff that needs to be done in 4K remotely, we will take it out, and we can take it out and use it there. Right now the computer that is controlling it is the Intel Nook 6 Skull Canyon, and that works well. We also run, but we're building a vMix computer for it. This will probably continue to stay attached to it, because then we can run other things on here for presentations and things like that, that can be run through that and then put through as an input on the new switcher when we get it. We also have an Ultra Studio in here. We may change, that will get changed to the Ultra Studio or the streaming studio. I forget the name of it, but it's going to be the 4K. It's going to get changed to a 4K version, because to record on this sends the recording to the computer, but it gives you a much better quality input than the Atem Mini, because this is actually runs through Thunderbolt. It's not just USB-C. It's Thunderbolt. It has a Thunderbolt connection, so it can take the raw format that comes from the SDI and send it over to the computer. This makes huge files, and then I have a gigabyte SSD hard drive, M.2 SSD hard drive in there, in that computer. So it can. That's one of the reasons why that is going to stay, because that can handle the recording, the pass through, and the files that will go on there. And being Thunderbolt, it can actually take the size of the files. It has the speed to take the files. And this computer, let me move this up a little bit. Right now I'm showing the software from This is the Atem software. This box is actually controlled with my X-Touch Mini. This is the software for the Ultra Studio, the recording software. Oh, actually, let me show you. This is the touch screen, because it's nice to be able to do everything just on touch screen. And then this is the vMix software. So this system works basically the same as all of my systems. I use vMix and the Atem switchers, so that the Atem switchers are better for switching, and they can handle the video, and I don't need as powerful a computer. The vMix handles all of the graphics and all of that type of stuff much better than the Atem. It's easier to get lower thirds with the vMix. It's easier. It's just easier to do any of the graphics. But to have individual camera inputs, you have to have a very powerful computer. The one on the bottom will be a very powerful computer, but that's just so I can do the editing on this same system, and not have to worry about well, I do have a separate editing computer, but I don't want to have to worry about the I don't like doing the switching inside the computer. I like the hardware switchers. They actually work better in my workflow than using a computer for switching, because I used to have the individual capture cards. I have computers that are powerful enough. The laptops that I use at the church, I've had, if you've watched my videos before, I've had as many as three cameras hooked up, but it's a little shaky. The camera, some of the camera would freeze up. It wouldn't lock up the whole computer, but one camera would freeze up. You'd have to restart it or disconnect and reconnect it to get it going again. There's a way in the software you can reconnect it, or not reconnect it, but what is it called? Reset. You can reset the camera in vMix, but with the Atem actually controlling the cameras, I never have that problem. I can switch the cameras with the Atem. I can switch the graphics with vMix, and it just seems to work a lot better. It's a lot more reliable, and it just works out. Better. So I hope that gives you some idea with the footage that I'm going to put in here from the church, showing you the system that we use at the church. This is an update to our new system. Well, not new system. We changed some things around in our system to make things better. We moved the audio up here with us. It used to be all the way over there, right there where those guys are standing, and now we brought it up here with us in the balcony where the video equipment is. We also had to make some adjustments with the sound. We still use the box, but we don't get sound from the speaker wire anymore. It comes directly from the board. And we also go directly into the back of the Atem instead of coming off instead of into the camera like we used to. And we actually got very lucky. Well, not necessarily lucky, but our cameras apparently they're Panasonic cameras, and they apparently sync very well with the Atem, because we did not have to offset the audio at all. We didn't have to do any adjustments. Everything stayed in sync, even coming through the audio. We originally were doing the audio through this camera because it gave us less problems as far as syncing the sound in the video. But we pleasantly discovered that even going straight off the board into the Atem, it actually, we didn't need a delay, so everything was in sync from the start. We didn't have to actually do any syncing. And one of the things we do, since we moved the soundboard up here, we had to make a lot of audio adjustments, because our audio got better because of the equipment we use to send the audio up here. The cables are all grounded and shielded cables, so we get a lot better signal, and this computer allows us to monitor the signal going out over the internet. So we've come a long way since the beginning, and one camera, and yeah, everything is looking good. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Bye. I hope that gives you some idea of I'm getting ready to walk past the camera here. I hope that gives you some idea of what you can do with Atems. And my camera moved, so I have to move over and get back in the camera. I don't feel like going and moving it around to set it back up so it would have exactly the same view that it had before. But anyway, I hope this gives you an idea of what you can do. I don't normally put lists of the things that I use. Like, for example, I get questions all the time about what monitor that I use in the boxes. It really doesn't matter what monitor I use. You just need a mountable, and not necessarily even a mountable monitor. I figured out a different way. The monitor in that box over there, and the one on the Atem Mini Extreme, I just figured out a way to mount it to the box. The monitor in the box for the Atem Mini Pro, it was Visa mountable, so I just mounted it to the box. But and the way that box was built, that box is actually still waterproof. I didn't actually have to put screws through the outer cover of the box. It has an internal cover, and I put that snaps on and off, and I put the screws through that to mount that. So that one is still 100% waterproof, or not 100%, whatever the rating is for waterproof. But these boxes are really good, because I've used these boxes for actual tools for years, and they work very well for keeping your equipment dry, your tools dry, whatever you put in them dry. I've seen people that make their boxes out of Pelican cases, out of flake cases. You can make them out of whatever kind of case you want. I use the rigid cases because they're convenient. The bottom box has wheels. They're actually cheaper than the Pelican cases. I can stack them, and it's easier to roll the stuff. I drive a truck, so it's easier for me to just stack them up, strap them down in the back of the truck, and go. They're not that heavy, so it's easy for me to get them up and off and on and off of the truck, and roll them in and out of wherever I need to go. On larger jobs, we need a couple of boxes, a couple of sets of boxes, but it's easy. It makes it easy to get around and get them through wherever we need to get them through to set up. The other system we haven't used in a while, the original mobile studio, but if you watch the channel, our original box was a much smaller box, but it was on wheels. Everything we use is pretty much on wheels. The converters, excuse me, the converters came that are in the Extreme box. They all came from their Blackmagic converters. You don't necessarily have to use Blackmagic converters, but I use Blackmagic converters because I find it's easier to things in the same family or made by the same company seem to work better together. So I use the boxes by Blackmagic. So everything in that box is well, not everything. The most of the video stuff in that box is Blackmagic, but I use a Netgear switch inside of it. I ordered everything inside of that box came off of everything in that box came from Amazon. So it is mostly stuff for rack cases, rack mounted stuff, the little plugs and things. So you can find them, and the only thing that is required is knowing your workflow and use your imagination to build what you want to build, and you can do it. And as you saw from the box I used for just the Atem Mini Pro, that used to be in this box here. But then when they came out with the Atem Mini, the Atem Mini Extreme, I decided this has a lot more functionality. It has super sourcing, it has 8 inputs. This box actually does way more than that rack mounted system right now, because it just has the old Atem television studio in it, and this box does a lot more. I'm actually trying to wait for that rack mounted system. I'm actually trying to wait to see what they do. I know I'm going to go with 4K, at least the 1ME, or no, the 2ME, so I can have the super sources. But I want to, I'm hoping Blackmagic did a whole lot with their Atem Mini line. I'm hoping they do something soon with the more pro gear, their higher end products, because And that's kind of what the holdup is on that rack mounted system right now. That's why it still has the older stuff in it to just so it can be operational for now. I'm waiting to see what they come out with to, and so I can get. Hopefully, they come out with some improvements to the higher end lines, and I can take advantage of that because their pricing with the Atem Mini stuff was actually pretty good, even though it's newer stuff and does even more than their higher end stuff. The pricing was good, so hopefully when they come out with the upgrades to the higher end devices, um, we'll be able to get the newer thing, and I'm hoping sometime soon with the trade shows that are coming out. I forget the name of this big trade show that's coming in November, but hopefully they'll have something out by the end of the year, and we'll get that and put it in there. If not, um, I'm not going to go with the Atem Mini Extreme and put in there. I want a rack system, and I want 4K for that system. I have enough stuff that does 1080, 1080p, because even though that old TV studio is 1080i, is 1080i 59.9, and it can be de-interlaced to 1080p 29.9 with the Ultra Studio in the recording. So it essentially is still 1080p 30. So that's why it's still functional, and that's why we still use it. Because everything we do, we can at least do 1080. And we already have the 4K cameras. The camera that I showed when I turned the camera on to the camera, that camera rig setup, that is a 4K camera. The two camcorders that were in the box are both 4K cameras. We do still have just some 1080 cameras, but once we get the 4K Atem in here, then we'll go to get a couple more 4K cameras. So we will have at least 4 4K cameras. Right now we only have 3. Actually, so we'll have at least 5 4K cameras, because right now we only have 3. The 1A 4K camera that was in there, not with the 2 in a box. The 2 camcorders, I usually take them on shoots and use those all the time. This camera here, I just noticed that it was in the picture. This camera is a 4K, but the DSLR cameras are not. For what I do, when I bought this, I didn't realize that this was not the best camera for what I do. The camcorders are actually better at long form video shoots for events. So we'll probably get a couple more of those, and then I use this one mainly now just for in studio stuff. So, but anyway, I hope this gives you some ideas of what you can do. I hope this gives you some ideas of what you can do in your church, in your home studio, in your mobile studios. Gives you an idea of what you can do, what you can pack up and use to be creative and do what you want to do. All right, so I will see you next time, and thanks for watching, and have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All right.